Sup y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're over here in Bloodmaul Slagmines Heroic, and I'm going to give you guys kind of like a first look at what to expect and what's going on in here. Now, obviously this is beta, and so anything can change, but I've got a pretty good feeling this is pretty much what we're going to see on live as well. Now, I've done some of the other heroics, I've done Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, and Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, like, this is a joke compared to Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. Like, I mean, that instance was really hard. But this one here, not very difficult at all. Another reason why it was really not that hard is because I had a very good group with me. Obviously, as you guys see here, everybody there is like Hellscream's Downfall, and they're in Divinity, and that's a very good guild. And so they were, they were down to come do this video with me and come do the instance. And so you guys will pretty much get a feel for, I don't know, how much damage I'm taking and, all the other stuff. And so obviously the first pulls are going to be really easy, and we're going to skip ahead right to the boss in a few seconds. There's actually a little event before the boss, and you guys will pretty much see what's going on in terms of Bloodmaul Slagmines. Now obviously these guys do some kind of a slam. This is a pretty ongoing thing. This is something that's happening all the time in Warlords of Draenor, where they'll raise their hand up, there'll be some sort of appearance, and there's like a cone effect that you have to move out of for tanks. And that's the new like tank skill check, is being able to move out of one sort of a smash or another. As you can see here, all these guys are on fire, and there's the reason for that is because that guy that you can see over there in the back right, he set them on fire, Mr. Magmolatus. And the way this works here is after we kill this asshole, is you have to actually go and pull the Magmolatus to stop this gauntlet from happening. And so you have to run through here and pull everything all the way up to the Magmolatus, which is kind of difficult, and by kind of difficult, I mean actually not difficult at all. It was not even a big deal. I would say the hardest part about this is we let too much ads come up and like kind of gather up and like try and, I don't know, attack us. And I guess that, I don't know about that little slash there, I think that's just a cleave, and so you face them away from the raid. But it's really kind of a pain in the ass, and we didn't really figure out the Magmolatus thing until, I don't know, a few minutes later, and so not really a few minutes, but, it took a few seconds for us to kind of get an idea of what the hell was going on. As you're seeing, like, right now, like, our first ever being in here, outside of, like, normal mode, and we didn't even pay attention doing that, and so, obviously, it can be a lot harder whenever you have no idea what you're doing. In terms of this, like, difficulty-wise, as I said before, I have a very good group, and so, things that, I think technical things were not really an issue for me because I had people who could execute those technical things very well. But if you have kind of a shitty group, obviously you might have a little problems with people standing in the flame pillars, or this, that, or the other thing. I mean, you never really know. People can find all kinds of different ways to get killed. But whenever you kill the Magmolatus, a lot of these mobs stop spawning, and it makes it a lot easier. I did this video before, and the audio messed up, basically, and so I really hope that this is going to be the one that works, because this is an 18-minute video. I'm not going to be happy if I have to do this a third time. I'm going to be very, very unhappy. But anyway, I was just thinking of a way to take up time here while we pretty much just do the same thing. And as you see, he kind of shuts off those furnaces that are spawning these ads. And so that was really cool. And on the side here, what you do is obviously you just pull this stuff too. We thought that we had to pull the sides to stop the furnaces from spawning, but we actually don't. And this pack here, I think some extra ads spawn here too. And this is kind of like a really big pull. I'm not really sure if you can attack a certain type of them. Like if you attack like all the, I don't know, like the elementals, the ogres won't attack you. I don't really know about all that, the same way that it works in Nexus, whenever you can attack those generators that create the little nether things. I don't know how I remember that. But anyway, as you see here, I got kind of low. Like, I'd say in terms of difficulty for this this area is heroic. Like, it scales your gear down to 620, and heroic drops 630 item level gear. And so, right now, like on live, I'm 589, and so if I get a few quest upgrades, I could pretty much expect to be seeing, I don't know, probably 620 very easily, and with 620 item level, this was extremely easy to do. Some of the achievements in here, which I've been trying to figure out how to do them, they're actually kind of difficult. This one up here for this first boss here, what's his name, Magmolatus or something like that. well, it's like a two-part fight, and the first part is like you fight this ogre, right? And you get the ogre, you kill the ogre, and then like this elemental spawns and you kill him. And so the achievement is that the ogre spawns two different ads. He spawns like Ruination and Calamity. Ruination is the earth elemental, I think, and Calamity is the fire elemental. And the earth elemental does, as I was telling you guys before, a smash, like a tank thing for tanks to avoid and for melee to kind of, I don't know, keep them on their toes. And there's the ogre. This is the first boss here, obviously. Forge Master Gugda. Gugda. Yeah, that sounds like an ogre name. And anyway, so you guys will see it here in a second. Oh, he also does Magma Barrage, which is not really a big deal. And there's Ruination, and he'll do the smash in just a second. And Calamity does kind of like an AoE explosion thing that you have to interrupt. But if you don't interrupt it, it really doesn't wipe the raid. That's just kind of a pain in the ass. And the achievement is to keep both Ruination and Calamity alive while you kill Magmolatus. And as you can see, it's not really that hard. Like, we're not really taking a lot of incoming damage. And this fight itself was extremely easy. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, this fight was like a 3 or a 4. It was a fun fight. I liked it, and I'm looking forward to doing it in challenge modes. But in terms of overall difficulty, it was very, very easy. And as soon as the ogre dies, Magmolatus comes out, and he says he's a rock slide, even though he's a fire elemental. I don't know why he says that. He's dumb. And he does a smash all around him. As you can see, I tried to move out of it, and I got stunned. And it did a pretty good amount of damage to me, but I think I absorbed some of it. And the Molten Impact is like, he puts on a Molten Elemental, and they don't move at all. They just sit there. And if you, they like shoot like little fire blossoms out from themselves. And pretty much if you get hit by one, it just does damage to you. And it doesn't even do that much damage. It's not even a big deal. And I think there's some sort of a debuff that you need to dispel. As you can see, there's one on Ryuk, and it just got dispelled. But I don't really know about that. One thing that's kind of common in these heroics is that there's going to be like some sort of direct damage tank, or direct tank damage. And there's also going to be some sort of pulsing AoE that deals damage to the entire group. As you can see, that's what happens if you don't kill the Molten Elementals, is they do that little X thing, which is similar to the mechanic that the boss in the first boss in Lost City of Tol'vir does. And so again, he just does the smash, he casts the ads, and he does the AoE thing, and the smash is very easy to move out of, even if you're melee. If you can't move out of the smash, like you've got some problems. You've got to reassess, playing on Nintendo 64 or paying attention. Either way. But anyway, as you can see here, he's almost dead, and there's a little bit of fire on the ground. Obviously, as I said, my group's pretty good, so I'm pretty sure we didn't spend a whole lot of time standing in the fire, so I can't really tell you how much damage it did to me. But anyway, so we're going to be going on to the next boss here, or the next set of ads. Oh yeah, that's right. So I did this, this part here, and after we killed that first boss, and we did it like really no problem whatsoever. Like, I got a little confident. I was like, yo, we fucking run this game. And so I pulled this entire pack. There's 5 mobs here, no CC, no nothing. You don't really need the CC in any of these dungeons, honestly. Like, I've never done a pack in which you needed the CC. There's a couple packs in Shadow Moon Burial Ground where CC helps, but it doesn't really make or break it if you've got a really strong group. And then we pulled these extra 2 guys. And honestly, I think I probably could have lived. But I popped Shield Wall a little early before I got too low, and a little bit of mismanagement with cooldowns and this, that, and everything. So I did die, but you guys are not going to see that. So I just wanted to show you guys that even though these things, this is moderately easy, compared to like Burning Crusade heroics, it's still not something that you can just face roll through, or at least not with 620. I don't know. Jeez. So anyway, here we are, the second boss. It's a Slave Master Crush 2 or something like that. And he does pretty much like 3 or 4 different things. He summons these ads, and, well, I'll explain the thing. Well, he spawns like this little like crystal, and it's like a rock. Basically, it comes out of nowhere, and there's that thing that you have to interrupt. I'll explain that in a minute. And he spawns this rock, and he just kicks it at someone. He straight up just kicks it at someone. And if he hits you with it, it does like half your health, and it stuns you, and so it's like a real fuck up by getting hit by that, but it's also very easy to avoid. And sometimes he'll do the kick after he jumps to someone, and so that's kind of bad. Now these captured miners can be very deadly, and the reason for that is because they put a debuff on you, and not only is it a bleed, it also increases the damage you take. And this boss does a lot of actual direct damage, and so it's kind of a pain in the ass to have to deal with these ads. But sometimes the ads like go on your side, and honestly, guys, I don't know how they go on your side. Like I've tried killing them, we tried getting them low health, maybe that they would like convert after we beat them up. Didn't happen, they just died, and so we're not really entirely sure. But whenever I do a real guide video for this, obviously, we're going to be going over that. So as you can see, this boss has a lot of health, and the ads also, whenever they're on your side, they'll also attack. As you can see, there are two of them to my left there, and they're actually stacking the debuff up on the boss. And so as soon as we figure that out, it's going to be very easy for this boss. This boss will be extremely easy as soon as we figure out how to make the miners go on our side. But until then, it can be kind of a pain in the ass. But as you can see, even if you have no idea what you're doing, if you have a good group, even moderately, you should have no problem. And he also does the knockback again, but that's really kind of not a non-issue. Fearsome Yell, that was what I was going to talk about. Fearsome Yell is very simple too. He basically just casts that, and I think it turns the miners that are on your side against you, because it like says it like weakens their will or something like that, because it certainly doesn't turn them on your side. And so you want to make sure you interrupt that, but there's no reason not to interrupt it, because that's what I was saying earlier about like there always being some sort of like AoE, AoE effect. And obviously after you kill him, there's a cutscene, or after you kill both of the other bosses. And there's Gruk, who's the last boss, and he's Rottal is like basically a bridge boss, and you are on a bridge and you have to fight him. And this is actually probably one of my favorite fights in the entire instance. Probably one of the better fights in the expansion that I think. It's very cool. I don't remember like ever doing a fight like this in a Warcraft game, but I probably have, outside of other fights that are also bridge fights, such as Razor something. It's some kind of proto-drake in Eberus. I don't remember. There's like Razor Maw, Razor Scale, like Razor Fang. Fuck, I don't even know. Anyway, so here we are at Rockdoll. This guy is actually really easy, okay? You pop here, you want to burn this guy down as fast as you can. Well, that's what we did. And so he's going to put down 3 boulders, and they're going to be all in 3 different spots. Obviously, you can put one in the middle, one to the right, one to the left. He always puts one on the middle, the right, and the left, so it's not like you can get 2 in the middle. And then see what's different on Heroic from normal is these boulders come rolling back at you. And so you got to be watching your front and watching your back. And don't be intimidated, though. This is not hard at all. And whenever about the 3rd boulder is about ready to roll back, he starts pushing you back. Now, what's interesting about this is if you get closer to the edge, he'll actually start pushing you closer off that edge. And after he does the pushback, he's going to put fire on the ground. And what the fire serves as is a soft enrage. And the soft enrage just works. I mean, it's very simple. If he does boulder, the pushback, and then fire, and so obviously if you're not able to kill him in time, the bridge will be entirely full of fire. The fire doesn't really do a lot of damage, but obviously, as with anything, you don't really want to be taking damage that you don't have to. And the odds are, if you probably can't kill him before fire engulfs the bridge, you probably can't kill him at all anyway. But you probably can't heal through it. And anyway, as you can see here, it's kind of pushing me towards the wall. I guess it's kind of hard to tell, but it was. As you can see, there's more fire coming, and this is really not a very hard fight at all. It's just kind of one of those things that you have to be planning for. I like this fight a lot because it's new. It's very new in my opinion, even though it uses kind of like old mechanics, I guess you could say. But like boulders and like fire, and you have to move out of fire, and fire's a soft enrage. And our healer died, that's good because we just killed him right there. And there's a weapon, and that's kind of what it looks like. I think that's a new model. I don't know if that's like the actual finalized model, but it seems like it would be. Now, with a lot of end bosses, one thing I've always liked is whenever, like at the end of the instance, there's like right before the last boss, there's like the really hard hitting or like really strong like trash mobs, and there he is, the Bloodmaul Ogron. Now, this guy is not really all that vicious. I was expecting him to be a lot more deadly than he was, but as you can see, my health is getting taken down a pretty good amount, and he hits about as hard as the boss does. And so it's not the biggest deal, but they're not really, you'd have a hard time killing them, and we did have a hard time killing them whenever we had find out we had to fight 2 at the same time. Now, as you see here to my left, there's a little opening there, and that's because if you fall through that opening, you're dead. Oh, and they're also stunnable, so, GG. And anyway, so if you fall out opening, you're dead, and they also do a knockback. So, you know, again, tank positioning. Tank positioning is also a very big thing in Warlords of Draenor, which is why I prefer to tank in a lot of these dungeons, because I can usually kind of predict whenever that stuff is going to happen. And I also have heroic lead, and I'm very quick with using that. If you get knocked into the lava, a buddy of mine was telling me that that will kill you. It doesn't do anything. It's just what's the word? It's just there for looks. There's a word for that, and I don't know it. I do know it. I just can't remember right now in the video. So anyway, here we are in the last boss, Gug Rock. What I don't, y'all guys know. So what he does is he also has a soften rage mechanic where he puts a fire thing under everybody. Obviously, what you want to do if you're trying to make this last, or you get the room filled up with fire, is you have all the range stack up together. The achievement for this boss is to not kill any unstable slag, and this is actually probably going to be a very easy achievement to do. As you can see, I just rooted him, and so you can probably root these with a druid and probably easily do it. The achievement is called Draenor's on Fire, I think. I'm not really sure. And this boss is kind of difficult to do, and we actually let one of the unstable slag go through towards the end because I wanted to see what would happen whenever it happened. And again, this is pretty much the same thing as the first boss. As I was telling you guys, he does some direct damage, and that thing, Molten Core, needs to be dispelled from him, which is really not a big deal. You just dispel it. It's very easy, especially if you're a tank. Like almost all tanks have some sort of dispel mechanic that they have, or at least I know Warriors do, and I remember Death Knights did. I don't remember if they still do. But anyway, so you kill the unstable slag, and it runs to the cauldron, and so obviously what you want to do is not tank them near the cauldron. I don't know how far away you can pull this boss from the cauldron, if you can somehow bug that out, but don't worry, we'll figure that out pretty soon. And I'll show you guys how to do that achievement pretty soon after. I don't know exactly when I will, but don't worry, you will probably get to see it pretty soon, because I like to do that kind of stuff whenever it's like super hard, and it does seem like it would actually be very hard. And as you can see, there's one of them that's going through, and we were going to let it go through, as I said. Actually, you know what? And it explodes. It explodes, basically. And he also, if you guys didn't see, he also does a direct damage, interruptible, and also reflectable fireball. On top of that, he also does flame buffet, which deals damage to everybody in the raid and increases their fire damage taken. As you can see, you just casted it. It's really only, you don't really need to dispel each stack of it, because each stack only makes you take 5% more damage. But you do kind of don't want to let it get ahead of you, and maybe you want to keep it dispelled on your tank. But it's not really that strong of a debuff. It's just kind of, it will, I don't know, like kind of sneak up on you if you don't really dispel it too quickly, because obviously 4 stacks is 20% more fire damage. And you just keep doing that, avoiding the fire, and he'll be dead. So honestly, guys, I had a good time. Oh, I got that legendary there, Core of Flame. And anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. It was a really fun instance to do. And hopefully we can do some more of these. I'll show you guys what the other heroics are looking like now. But for now, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.